My husband is ordering champagne to broadcast his new relationship status across social media, and at the same time, I'm signing the documents that will ensure by Monday he'll be sleeping in his Porsche. The amusing part about that Porsche Taycan, I'm the one who paid for it, just as I paid for everything else he's about to discover he no longer has. Before we get into the details, I want to express my sincere gratitude to every one of you for joining me on this journey. If these stories of empowerment and justice resonate with you, please think about subscribing. It costs nothing, and it's a tremendous help in growing this incredible community we're building together. Now let's get started. My hand is perfectly steady as I put my signature on yet another document. After 15 years of marriage, Michael still sees me as the pretty face who just happened to get lucky by marrying a successful man. He conveniently chose to forget, or perhaps never bothered to acknowledge, that long before I was Mrs. Davenport, I was Eleanor Vance, the youngest partner ever appointed at Sterling Asset Management. That's the same firm, by the way, that was now helping me unravel the offshore accounts he was so convinced he'd hidden from the world. Are you certain about the timing on this, Eleanor? Sophia, my lawyer, looks at me with a blend of professional admiration and genuine concern. We could always hold off until... Look, I interrupt, turning my phone so she can see Michael's latest social media update. The timestamp is from just 2 minutes ago. The caption reads, "Living my best life with my soulmate. New beginnings. Truly blessed." The picture shows him with her, Chloe, at the Astoria, the very same restaurant where he asked me to marry him all those years ago. He's even wearing the Patek Philippe watch I bought him for our 10th wedding anniversary. The timing, I state, signing another page with a decisive flourish, is absolutely perfect. My phone vibrates. It's a text from Michael. "Hey, gorgeous, don't wait up for me. Big client dinner is running late. Love you." I've archived every single text just like this one that he's sent over the past 6 months. Each one is a perfect alibi, corresponding flawlessly with a charge on the credit card I track for hotels, private dinners, and expensive jewelry stores. These are the charges he has no idea I can see, and they align perfectly with Chloe's Instagram feed, where she shamelessly flaunts every spontaneous gift from her married lover. What neither of them understands is that I've been aware for months. Every fabricated late-night meeting, every fictitious business trip, every suspicious withdrawal, I've documented it all. But unlike the stereotypical scorned wife, I didn't make a scene. I didn't throw his designer suits onto the lawn or scratch a key down the side of his precious Porsche. No, I did what I've always done best. I followed the money. This one, Sophia says, pointing to a specific document in the stack, is the big one. It will freeze all joint assets and trigger an immediate, comprehensive audit. Once this is signed, there's no turning back. My mind flashes to this morning, the way Michael kissed my cheek as he left for work, his voice smooth as he promised we'd finally plan that trip to the Maldives he knew I wanted. Meanwhile, I had already seen the reservations he'd actually made for the Maldives, not for us, but for him and Chloe, for next month. At the same resort where we spent our honeymoon. Good, I say, my name flowing from the pen onto the page. That's precisely what I'm counting on. My phone screen illuminates with another notification. It's an Instagram story this time. Chloe, showing off a new Tiffany-colored diamond bracelet with the caption, "From my love." Accompanied by a heart emoji, I take a screenshot, carefully noting the date and time. It's a perfect match for a significant withdrawal from our joint savings account, the one Michael assumes I never look at. The forensic team will launch their full investigation first thing Monday morning, Sophia explains, neatly organizing the signed papers. Given the evidence you've already gathered, they'll have more than enough to prove he's been embezzling from his own company? I finish her sentence, pulling up a secure folder on my phone. Here's every single transaction he tried to launder through that sham consulting firm he established. The one where Chloe, with zero business acumen, was mysteriously appointed CEO 2 months ago. Sophia's eyes widen as she scrolls through the digital files on my phone. This is incredibly thorough, Eleanor. I had a lot of quiet evenings to myself, I reply with a dry, humorless smile. You know, with all of his late client meetings. As if on cue, my phone buzzes with a notification from a group chat. Our mutual friends are trying to plan a dinner party for next week. Michael's reply is instantaneous. So sorry, everyone, I'll be out of town for work. Of course he will be. I know all about that business trip, too. I've seen the first-class tickets to Mykonos he booked for himself and Chloe, charged directly to his corporate card, the very same corporate card that is about to be flagged and suspended as part of the audit. Last one, Sophia says, sliding the final document across the polished mahogany desk. This initiates the full investigation into all personal and corporate holdings. Once you sign this, the dominoes start to fall. I don't even pause. My signature glides across the line, each curve and loop imbued with years of suppressed anger and the bitter taste of betrayal. As I place the final dot on my name, another notification appears. It's Michael. He's going live on Facebook, broadcasting from what is supposed to be his critical client meeting. Let them celebrate, I say, standing and smoothing down my dress, a dress he bought me last month, no doubt out of a pang of guilt. By Monday morning, they'll have a very different kind of status to update. Sophia gathers the mountain of paperwork, her expression a mix of awe and a slight hint of intimidation. You know, in 20 years of practicing family and corporate law, I've never seen anyone come to the table this prepared. I pick up my handbag. Is it being strategic, or is it just being tired of being underestimated? As I walk out of her high-rise office, the city lights beginning to twinkle below, my phone buzzes one last time. It's Michael's nightly check-in text. Miss you, beautiful. Can't wait to come home to you. I smile, a genuine cold smile, as I type back my reply. Sleep well, darling. Monday is going to be a very interesting day. He'll read it as just another loving message from his unsuspecting wife. But then again, underestimating me was always his biggest flaw, and it's about to become his most expensive mistake. The morning after signing those initial documents, I dress with meticulous care. An Armani power suit, my highest Louboutin heels, and the pearl necklace he always said was his favorite. It's the armor of a woman who has every single detail under control. The reflection in the mirror is exactly the woman Michael expects to see. His perfectly polished, beautiful wife, completely oblivious to his secret life. "Good morning, sweetheart," I call out cheerfully as he stumbles into the kitchen, looking hungover from his celebratory client meeting. "I made your favorite, omelets with Gruyere." He kisses my cheek, the stale scent of expensive scotch and manufactured guilt clinging to him. "You're too good to me, Ellie. If only you had any idea," I think, sliding his custom-brewed coffee across the marble countertop. The same countertop where I'd been sitting until 2 a.m. on a secure video call with my old colleague, David, from Sterling Asset Management David, who now heads their entire forensic accounting division. David, who nearly spit out his own coffee when I shared my screen and showed him what I'd found inside Michael's supposedly impenetrable cloud drive. "Another early start for you?" I ask, with practiced innocence, watching him check his phone. His lock screen is still a photo of us on vacation last summer. His background, however, is a picture of Chloe, which I know because I've seen its reflection in his car window more than once when he thought I wasn't looking. "Yeah, this Harrison deal is just relentless," he says, running a hand through his perfectly coiffed hair, already distracted. "The Harrison deal is a complete fabrication. I've already confirmed it. His firm hasn't had any dealings with Harrison Industries in over a year." "Well, don't work too hard," I say, giving his shoulder a gentle squeeze. He doesn't even flinch or notice as, in the reflection of our polished kitchen window, I angle my own phone just so, capturing a perfect shot of Chloe's incoming message on his screen about their lunch plans for the day. The moment the front door closes behind him, I convert our pristine home office into my command center. Family photos are replaced with spreadsheets and flow charts taped to the walls. Every available surface is covered in bank statements, property deeds, and corporate filings. My friend Isabel, a top-tier corporate lawyer I've known since we were undergrads, is sitting cross-legged on the floor, a fortress of documents built around her. "Jesus, Ellie," she mutters, holding up a piece of paper and shaking her head in disbelief. Did he really think he could hide a shell company this blatantly? In the Bahamas? I let out a short, sharp laugh, though there's no humor in it. He registered it under the name Zeus Enterprises. Zeus was our cat that died 3 years ago. Isabel just shakes her head, adding the document to a growing pile marked Exhibit A. Men like him always assume they're the smartest person in any room. That's because they never bother to actually look around the room, I retort, pulling up another file on my laptop. Look at this. Every time he takes Chloe out for one of their little trysts, he writes it off as a business expense $300 bottles of wine with a woman who's supposedly a junior consultant on a minimal retainer. The math doesn't add up. My phone buzzes. It's a group text from our friend Lisa, sending out a reminder for her upcoming dinner party. Michael replies almost instantly with another one of his pre-packaged excuses. I notice, a few minutes later, that Chloe also declines the invitation. They're getting sloppy, overconfident. It would almost be amusing if their predictability wasn't lining up so perfectly with my own meticulously planned timeline. Have you heard back from Maria yet? Isabel asks, referring to our mutual contact who heads a special division at the SEC. I nod, pulling up an encrypted email on my screen. She's on standby. The moment Sophia files the initial papers on Monday, her team will coincidentally launch a routine regulatory audit of his firm. The same audit that will immediately uncover that Chloe's consulting company has been receiving six-figure payments since before it was even legally incorporated. My phone screen lights up with Michael's face. It's his daily check-in call. I answer, my voice a practiced symphony of cheerful affection, listening to him spin a web of lies about his productive lunch meeting while I'm staring at the hotel bill from his actual location. "Miss you too, honey," I say, watching Isabel roll her eyes theatrically. "Don't forget we have dinner with the Hendersons tonight." He pauses. I can almost hear the frantic tapping of his fingers as he texts Chloe to reschedule their evening plans. "Of course, babe. Wouldn't miss it for the world." After hanging up, I turn to Isabel. "He'll cancel in about 3 hours. He'll claim there's an emergency with a client." "How can you be so certain?" I pull up Chloe's Instagram story from that morning. It's a cryptic post showing 2 champagne flutes with the text, "A very special surprise tonight." I know their patterns better than they do themselves. The rest of the day is a carefully orchestrated performance. I attend my scheduled board meetings. I make appearances at my usual lunch spots. I even go for a manicure at the same salon where Michael's secretary gets her nails done. Everything is normal. Everything is routine. No one could possibly suspect that inside my briefcase, I'm carrying the legal artillery that will obliterate a decade and a half of Michael's carefully crafted deceptions. Right on schedule, at 3:47 p.m., a text from Michael comes through. "Babe, I'm so sorry. We might have to rain check the Henderson dinner. A massive crisis just blew up with the Beijing account." I reply with just the right amount of feigned disappointment and wifely understanding. The Beijing account has been dormant for over 6 months. Another crucial fact he has no idea that I know. "Look what just landed," Isabel says. Holding up her phone, Chloe has posted a new photo, a close-up of 2 champagne glasses clinking against a sunset backdrop. And she's made a rookie mistake. The location tag is accidentally enabled. It's the rooftop bar where Michael and I had our first kiss. "Perfect," I say, saving the screenshot to our evidence folder. That receipt will match up beautifully with the emergency business dinner he's about to expense to the corporate card. As evening descends, I sit in our impeccably decorated living room, surrounded by the tangible proof of Michael's double life and my own methodical documentation. Every lie he's told, every secret rendezvous he's had, every hidden transaction he's made. All of it is meticulously cataloged, cross-referenced, and ready for deployment. My phone buzzes with another Instagram notification. It's Chloe again, posing in a new designer dress that costs more than her supposed monthly consulting fee, captioned with a single triumphant heart emoji. I save it to the folder labeled Monday and pour myself a glass of wine. Let them have their romantic evening. Let them believe they're the masterminds, hiding their epic love story from the naive, unsuspecting wife at home. I've spent months constructing this facade of ignorance, and in just 2 days I will have the distinct pleasure of watching it shatter, along with everything else they thought they could take from me, Sunday morning. This will be the last peaceful Sunday Michael will ever experience, though he is blissfully unaware of that fact. I watch him sleep, his face serene and untroubled. The peace of ignorance. His phone buzzes on the nightstand. It's Chloe's good morning text, right on schedule. I've memorized their daily patterns better than they have. While he's in the shower, I begin my final preparations. The quiet hum of my laptop fills the room as I log into a series of accounts he doesn't even know exist. These are accounts I've spent months setting up, each one a carefully placed piece on my own private chessboard. The first transfer goes through silently, moving $2.3 million from our joint savings into my new secure individual account. It's money I earned and saved long before we even met. Funds he had slowly and systematically merged into our joint finances over the years. "Just heading out for a quick round of golf, babe," Michael calls out, already halfway to the door. I know he's not going to the golf course. He's meeting Chloe at their usual hotel, the one that cleverly bills itself as a business and conference center on all credit card statements. "Have fun, honey," I reply, my eyes never leaving my laptop screen as I initiate another transfer. "Don't forget we have brunch with my parents next weekend." A buzz from my phone confirms his reply. Of course, wouldn't miss it. Another lie. He's already booked flights to St. Moritz with Chloe for that exact weekend. I have the receipts, literally. Once the house is quiet, my real work begins. Sophia arrives first, carrying fresh coffee and a final stack of documents needing my signature. Isabel follows close behind, her laptop and legal files in tow. David, our forensic accountant, dials in via a secure video link, his expertise crucial for these final critical steps. "Everything is in position," Sophia says, spreading the papers across our dining room table. The same table where Michael and I hosted a party to renew our vows just last year. The moment the courthouse opens tomorrow morning, it all goes into motion. I pull up my masterpiece on the large monitor on the wall, a complex flowchart that would make a military strategist proud. It maps every account, every asset, every shell company he thought was perfectly concealed. Red lines connect his supposed business meetings with hotel charges. Blue lines trace the flow of money from his company into Chloe's fraudulent consulting firm. Green lines mark every single lie he's told, each one documented with timestamps, screenshots, and corroborating evidence. "Maria's team at the SEC is ready to go," Isabel confirms, checking a message on her phone. She says they'll randomly select his firm for an audit at precisely 1 hour after the divorce papers are officially filed. David's voice crackles through the speaker. "I've just uncovered 7 more hidden accounts he tried to funnel money through in that Cayman Islands setup. It's amateur hour, really. He used variations of his mother's maiden name for every single one of them." "What about the offshore transfers?" I ask, pulling up another detailed spreadsheet. "All traced, all documented," David confirms. He really thought running them through Chloe's consulting firm would provide a legitimate cover. It's a classic mistake. He was so focused on weaving a complex web of deceit, he never once considered that we were watching and logging every single thread. My phone buzzes. It's a photo sent from a group of our mutual friends. They've accidentally run into Michael and Chloe having brunch at a cafe across town. Perfect. More witnesses to add to the timeline, more evidence of the affair they believe is so carefully hidden. "You have to see this," Isabel says, turning her laptop toward me. Chloe has just posted another cryptic Instagram story, a champagne glass, the corner of a luxurious hotel suite just visible in the background with the caption, living my best life. The location data, which she once again forgot to disable, matches exactly with a charge on Michael's credit card from 10 minutes ago. Add it to the file, I say, initialing another document with a steady hand. Every little piece helps build the narrative. Sophia hands me the final set of papers. These will enact an immediate freeze on everything the moment they're filed: bank accounts, investment portfolios, property transfers. All of it will be locked down. What about his personal slush funds? Isabel asks. The accounts he thinks no one knows about? I allow myself a small, triumphant smile, pulling up another screen on my monitor. Already handled. Every single account he has opened in the last 5 years has my name attached as a silent, non-participating co-owner. It's one of the perks of being the trophy wife he never bothered to investigate. He forgot I specialized in asset protection and recovery before he even proposed to me. My phone lights up with Michael's face. It's his guilty check-in call. "Hi, honey," I answer, my voice dripping with practiced sweetness. "How's golf?" "Great, babe. Just finishing up on the back nine." The distinct clink of glasses in the background completely betrays his actual location. I put him on speaker so everyone in the room can hear, adding another audio recording to our mountain of evidence. "Don't work too hard at that emergency meeting you'll inevitably have later," I say. After we hang up, Isabel raises an eyebrow. "Give it an hour," I explain. He always invents an emergency meeting after his golf games with Chloe. Right on cue, exactly 50 minutes later, my phone buzzes with his text. "Babe, I am so sorry. Johnson just called, needs me to review some urgent contracts. Might be a late one." I text back the perfect, understanding wife response. While Sophia finalizes the timeline for tomorrow, everything is scheduled down to the minute. The divorce filing at 9 a.m., the account freezes at 9:05 a.m., the SEC audit notification at 10 a.m., and for a touch of poetic justice, it will all happen while he's in the middle of his big presentation to potential new investors. "Are you sure you want to wait until tomorrow?" Isabel asks, watching me sort through the last of the documents. "We could pull the trigger right now." I shake my head, thinking of the Instagram posts I've seen them planning for tonight, some grand celebration of their love. Let them have their last hurrah. Let them toast to their future with money that won't exist in their accounts tomorrow. Let them feel as secure and invincible as they want for one more night. Tomorrow, I say, signing the final preparatory document with a flourish, they learn what it really means to underestimate the wrong woman. Let them sleep soundly tonight, thinking they've already won. Monday morning dawns crisp and clear, a perfect day for endings disguised as new beginnings. I wake up to an empty bed. Michael never came home last night. His side of the bed is still perfectly made, the pillows untouched. My phone already has 3 new notifications waiting for me. His half-hearted apologetic text about falling asleep at the office, Chloe's Instagram story of a beautiful sunrise from a hotel room that I paid for, and a message from Sophia confirming she's at the courthouse, ready to file showtime, I whisper to myself, slipping into the red Valentino power suit I'd laid out the night before. His favorite. He always said I looked killer in it today. That word feels especially fitting. My phone buzzes again. It's a message from Michael to our group chat. "Everyone, Chloe and I have a very special announcement to make dinner at Serafina's tonight, 8 p.m. It's time to share some amazing news with you all." I screenshot it for the record as our friends' congratulatory messages start pouring in. None of them know that Chloe has been wearing my grandmother's heirloom ring for weeks. None of them know that the reservation at Serafina's was made on our joint credit card, the same card that will be declined long before dessert arrives. "All systems go," Isabel texts me. "Right on schedule," I reply, watching my home security cameras as Michael's Porsche pulls into the driveway. He's whistling as he walks into the house, carrying fresh coffee and croissants from my favorite bakery. His classic guilty conscience breakfast routine. "Morning, beautiful," he says, kissing my cheek. I let him, knowing it will be the very last time. "I got your favorite almond croissants." You're in a remarkably good mood, I observe, accepting the coffee I have no intention of drinking. Years of practice keep my hands steady, my smile perfectly placid. Big day at work, he grins, straightening the Hermes tie I bought him last Christmas. Huge investor presentation. This could change everything for us. Oh, honey, you have no idea. That's wonderful, I say, glancing at my watch. It's 8:47 a.m. In 13 minutes, Sophia will file the papers. In 14 minutes, every account Michael has access to will be frozen solid. In 15 minutes, the SEC will receive a comprehensive anonymous tip about irregular financial activities at his firm. By the time he finishes his coffee, his entire world will be in an irreversible free fall. Don't want to be late, he says, grabbing his briefcase, the one still embossed with my family's business logo, a detail he never seemed to appreciate. Dinner tonight? We have some big news to share. I smile, remembering the engagement announcement he's already drafted on his phone. I saw it reflected in our bedroom mirror last night while he was busy texting Chloe. I wouldn't miss it for the world. The moment the door closes, I open my laptop. Multiple windows bloom across the screen, live feeds from his office's security cameras. It's amazing what being listed as a company co-founder gives you access to. His email inbox, which he shared with me years ago and never bothered to unshare, and the county courthouse's public filing system. 8:57 a.m. Michael walks into his office, still whistling. Chloe is already there, perched on the edge of his desk in a dress that likely costs 3 months of her fake consulting salary. 8:59 a.m. They're kissing. A small, triumphant celebration of their imminent victory. On his phone screen, I see him double-checking their dinner reservation, the one where he plans to announce their engagement to all our friends. 9 a.m. Sophia's name appears in the court filing system. It's done. 9:01 a.m. The first domino falls. I watch on the security feed as Michael's phone begins to buzz uncontrollably. His banking apps are pushing a flood of notifications. His executive assistant rushes into his office, a panicked expression on her face. Chloe's look of adoration quickly shifts to confusion as Michael's face drains of all color. "What do you mean the accounts are frozen?" I hear him shout through the feed's audio. "Check them again!" 9:05 a.m. The SEC notification hits his inbox. 9:06 a.m. His phone rings. It's the first of his potential investors, calling to cancel the presentation. I take a sip of my own coffee, not the one he brought me, and watch it all unfold. Every scenario I had meticulously planned for plays out exactly as I predicted. Michael storms out of his office, his phone pressed to his ear, probably trying to reach our financial advisor. But Michael's advisor, my old college roommate, is conveniently in back-to-back, unreachable meetings all day. Chloe follows him, her confusion morphing into full-blown panic as her own account notifications start to roll in. That sham consulting firm they thought was so clever? It's currently being dissected by a team of forensic accountants who are finding exactly what I wanted them to find. My phone lights up with messages from our friends, all responding enthusiastically to Michael's dinner invitation. I reply with a simple, "Can't wait," knowing exactly how that evening will end. More notifications flood my own screens. Michael trying to access our safety deposit box, which I emptied last week, attempting to transfer funds from the secret offshore accounts, now frozen. Calling his personal lawyer, who is, at this very moment, reviewing the mountain of evidence I've compiled against him. Through it all, I sit in my home office, watching the feeds like a general observing a flawlessly executed battle plan. Every frantic move he makes was anticipated, planned for, and countered weeks ago. Status, Sophia texts. Everything proceeding as planned, I reply, watching Michael pace his office, his perfect world crumbling minute by minute. He just tried the Cayman accounts, all frozen. Maria's team is having a field day with those transfers. Chloe is on her phone now too, probably realizing that her consultancy is about to attract a lot more attention than she ever wanted. The look on her face suggests she's finally beginning to understand what being the target of a federal investigation truly means. My phone buzzes one last time. It's Michael. Babe, might have to cancel dinner tonight. Huge crisis at work. I smile, typing my final response as his perfect new beginning implodes. No problem, honey. I have some paperwork to take care of anyway. Good luck with your presentation. By noon, the fallout is catastrophic. I watch through the security feed as he paces his office like a caged animal, his phone still pressed to his ear, having the same circular, desperate conversation for the 5th time. "What do you mean you can't override it?" he shouts at his private banker. "I own the damn company." Owned, I think to myself, taking another sip of coffee, past tense. The SEC investigators arrived 20 minutes ago, right on schedule. They're set up in his main conference room now, boxes of documents spread across the polished table. Chloe sits among them, her designer dress suddenly looking garish and out of place as they grill her about her consulting qualifications. My phone buzzes. It's Michael. "Ellie, something is wrong with all our accounts." His voice is tight, a barely controlled panic seeping through the edges. "Have you tried to access anything today?" "Oh?" I keep my voice light, a little curious. "No, I haven't. Let me check." I make a show of tapping on my keyboard, though my eyes are glued to the camera feed, watching him run his hands through his hair in raw frustration. "That's strange. Have you called the bank?" "They're saying..." He pauses, and I can see him on the feed, turning to look through his glass office walls at the SEC team. They're saying there's some kind of investigation, something about irregular transfers. "That sounds serious," I reply, my voice a mask of concern, as I watch Chloe being escorted into a separate room for individual questioning. Should I be worried? No, it's just a misunderstanding. He's sweating now. "Listen, about dinner tonight." "The engagement announcement?" I say softly. Dead silence on the line. On the security feed, I watch him freeze, his face going completely ashen. What did you just say?" His voice is barely a whisper. "The engagement announcement for you and Chloe. Tonight at Serafina's, with my grandmother's ring. The one you told me was stolen from our safe." Each word lands like a hammer blow. The ring that, coincidentally, matches the one she's been flaunting in her Instagram stories for the past 3 weeks. He slumps into his executive chair. On another monitor, I watch his email inbox light up with a cascade of notifications. Major clients are pulling their accounts. Board members are calling for an emergency meeting. Chloe's newly hired lawyer is requesting an urgent consultation. "How?" he stammers. "How long have I known?" I finish the question for him. "Long enough, Michael, long enough to document everything. The fake consulting firm, the offshore accounts in the Bahamas, the creative bookkeeping you were so sure no one would ever notice." I pause, letting each revelation sink in. Long enough to make sure that when this day finally came, there would be absolutely nothing left for you to hide behind. You did this. Realization finally crashes over his face on the security feed. The SEC, the frozen accounts. "I particularly enjoyed watching you try to access the Cayman accounts this morning," I add, my voice cool and even. Though I have to ask, using our dead cat's name as the password? Really, Michael? That's just sloppy. His next words come out, strangled, "I can explain." To me or to the SEC? Because right now they seem very interested in learning how Chloe became the CEO of a consulting firm that was billing your company millions of dollars before it was even legally registered as a business. Through the feed, I watch as an agent hands Chloe a thick stack of documents. Every transaction, every fake invoice, every fictional consulting report, all traced back to its origin. Her perfect makeup does nothing to hide the sheer terror in her eyes. "You don't understand," Michael pleads, desperation finally cracking his voice. "This will destroy everything." "No, Michael. You destroyed everything the moment you decided our marriage vows were optional," I say calmly. I watch another email pop up on his screen. It's from his lawyer, officially dropping him as a client. I'm just making sure you pay the fair market value for that decision. His corporate card declines as he tries to order lunch. His assistant quietly clears out her desk, having already accepted a new position at a rival firm, a move I arranged for her weeks ago. One by one, the pillars of his carefully constructed life are crumbling into dust. The board meeting, he remembers suddenly, horror dawning in his eyes. The investor presentation has been canceled, I finish for him, though you might want to start preparing for a different kind of presentation. The forensic accounting team has some very interesting questions about certain creative financial decisions. Chloe bursts into his office, mascara streaking down her cheeks. They're saying I could face charges, she sobs. Michael, what did you do? I watch them through the feed, these two people who thought they were so clever, so secret, so safe in their little bubble of betrayal. The SEC team is boxing up computers. His executive team is convening an emergency board meeting, one he has been specifically uninvited to attend. One more thing, I add, my voice dropping to a near whisper before I hang up. You might want to check your email. The St. Regis just confirmed they're more than happy to extend my stay in the presidential suite. You remember that one, right? The one you booked for your celebratory weekend with Chloe? It's amazing how willing they were to transfer the reservation when I showed them proof that I was the one who paid for it. I end the call as security begins boxing up his personal items. His corporate phone goes dark as its service is terminated. The GPS on his company car shows it being towed from the executive parking spot he will never use again. Isabel hands me a fresh stack of documents. Phase 3 is ready. I nod, signing each page with a flourish. Every signature strips away another layer of the life he thought was his alone. Has Chloe's interview gone live yet? I ask. Just posted, Sophia confirms. She's claiming she was manipulated into the fake consulting scheme. Says she has emails to prove it. Of course she does. I smile. I sent them to her this morning. My phone lights up with another notification. Michael is trying to check into the St. Regis himself, probably hoping to drown his sorrows at the hotel bar. His card declines. All of his cards decline. Through the office camera, I watch him finally stand up, gathering what's left of his dignity along with the sad little box of personal items security has allowed him to keep. His empire of cards, built on a foundation of lies and betrayal, hasn't just fallen. It has been systematically dismantled, brick by brick, lie by lie. Should we tell him about tomorrow's plan? Isabel asks. I shake my head, watching him walk past the gauntlet of press cameras, his shoulders slumped. The former king of his domain, now reduced to taking an Uber home. No, let him sleep on this first. Tomorrow's revelations deserve a fresh audience. After all, we haven't even started on his family's trust fund yet. Tuesday morning brings the kind of headlines you can't buy with PR spin, Davenport financial CEO suspended amid fraud allegations, Wall Street romance ends in federal investigation, fake consulting firm exposes multi-million-dollar scheme. I read them all from the comfort of my new St. Regis suite, the very same one where Michael and Chloe had celebrated their illicit love just days ago. The irony of enjoying their preferred brand of champagne while watching their world burn is not lost on me. The trust fund documents are ready, Sophia announces, entering with a fresh stack of papers. His family's lawyers are, let's say, very interested in how he's been managing their generational wealth. I smile, remembering Michael's smug face whenever he talked about his family's old money, the same money he had been quietly siphoning through Chloe's consulting firm, thinking his family would never notice, never question their golden boy. My phone buzzes with a text from his mother. Eleanor, we need to talk, now. The security feed from our home shows Michael still passed out on the couch, surrounded by empty whiskey bottles. He tried using his key card at 3 different luxury hotels last night before finally realizing all his cards were frozen. The staff at the St. Regis were particularly amused when he demanded his suite, the one I'm currently occupying. His sister's official statement just went live, Isabel says, turning her tablet toward me. The headline reads, "Family shocked and appalled by financial misconduct. We trusted him with everything." Perfect timing. I'd made sure his family received their own copy of the complete forensic accounting report bright and early this morning. Nothing like breakfast with a side of familial betrayal. Chloe is doing major damage control, Sophia notes, showing me another headline, "Whistleblower comes clean. He made me do it." I laugh softly. The evidence Chloe is turning over to the SEC is exactly what I wanted her to find. Every email, every document, every transaction was carefully crafted to tell the story I have been writing for months. A commotion in the hotel lobby on the security feed catches my eye. It's Michael, unshaven and disheveled, attempting to argue his way past the security guards. "My wife is up there, in my suite." I send a quick text to the front desk. "Mr. Davenport is no longer associated with this reservation. Please have security escort him from the premises." The emergency board meeting starts in an hour. Isabel reminds me. They're voting on his permanent removal. I nod, slipping into a black Chanel dress, another one Michael paid for during one of his guilt-fueled shopping sprees. "Are the shareholders ready?" "Oh, they're ready," Sophia grins. Turns out they don't appreciate their CEO using company funds to finance his affair and set up a fake consulting scheme. My phone lights up with another notification. Chloe is giving a tearful interview on a morning financial news show. "I was young and naive," she sobs. "He told me the consulting firm was a legitimate business venture." She plays the victim role well, I observe, almost as well as she played the role of the seductress. "Speaking of playing roles," Isabel says, "your car is ready whenever you are." I check my reflection one last time. Power suit perfect, makeup flawless, expression composed and unreadable. Today isn't about revenge. It's about justice, served with a side of exquisite poetic timing. The boardroom falls silent as I enter. Michael, forced to attend as a formality, looks like he has aged a decade overnight. Chloe sits at the opposite end of the long table, her designer outfit replaced with something appropriately subdued for a woman facing federal charges. "Mrs. Davenport," the board chairman greets me warmly, "thank you for agreeing to take emergency control of the company during this situation." Situation. Michael's head snaps up. "What?" I take my seat at the head of the table. His seat, technically, since the emergency board vote that was held last night. "Did you forget who owns the controlling interest in the company, honey? You should check the shareholding structure. I believe you signed those papers yourself last year." The color drains from his face as the documents are distributed. His signature is on every single page, transferring controlling interest to me in the event of a corporate emergency. Just another document in the mountain of paperwork he never bothered to read now. I address the board, completely ignoring Michael's strangled attempt to speak. "Let's discuss the company's future direction. I believe we can all agree that some significant changes are needed." Chloe attempts to slip out of the room quietly. "Please stay, Ms. Mitchell," I call out pleasantly. "The SEC has some follow-up questions for you about your consulting expertise, or rather, the lack thereof. The next hour is a masterclass in corporate dismantling. Every fraudulent scheme is exposed. Every doctored ledger is documented. Every lie is unraveled with cold, hard facts." Michael and Chloe just sit there, powerless, watching as their perfect plan crumbles under the crushing weight of meticulous, irrefutable evidence. "One final item," I announce as the meeting concludes. "The Davenport Family Trust." Michael goes completely still. The trust, his safety net, his backup plan, his birthright. The one thing he was certain I could never touch. "Your mother asked me to give you this," I say, sliding a single document across the polished table toward him. "The trustees are very concerned about some of your recent investment decisions." He opens it with trembling hands. Inside is a legal notice of his immediate removal as a trust beneficiary, effective immediately. His family's old money is now as untouchable as everything else he thought was his. "The police also have some questions for you," I add casually. about certain creative accounting practices related to the trust funds. They'll be waiting for you outside. As security leads them both out, Michael to the waiting police officers, Chloe to her own legal reckoning, I remain seated, the undisputed queen of the empire he thought he had built alone. Justice, it turns out, tastes even better than revenge. 1 month later, the penthouse view of Manhattan stretches out before me, the city lights twinkling like the diamonds I never bothered to return. The Wall Street Journal sits on my desk, today's headline already framed for my new office wall. Davenport Financial rebounds under new leadership, stock prices soar. My phone buzzes with a news alert. Michael Davenport pleads guilty in financial fraud case. I take a slow sip of champagne, the expensive kind, the kind he used to buy to impress Chloe, and I savor both the taste and the moment. The last of the paperwork is filed, Sophia announces, entering my office with a final stack of documents. As of 4:32 p.m. today, you are officially divorced. I signed the papers with the Mont Blanc pen Michael gave me for our last anniversary, another small piece of poetic justice, using his own gifts to formally sign away his future. Have you seen this? Isabel asks, showing me her tablet. Chloe is giving another interview, this time from her parents' modest home in New Jersey. Her plea deal required full cooperation, which she gave with an impressive, almost gleeful enthusiasm. Hell hath no fury like a mistress facing federal charges. Ms. Mitchell provided crucial evidence, the article reads, leading to additional charges in the expanding financial fraud investigation. I smile, remembering how eagerly Chloe had handed over everything once she realized I had given her the perfect exit strategy. A few strategically leaked emails, some carefully planted evidence, and suddenly she was the victimized whistleblower instead of the willing accomplice. His mother called again, Sophia mentions, settling into one of my office chairs. The family wants to formally thank you for protecting their trust fund. Apparently, you saved them from losing 3 generations of wealth. Ironic, I muse, considering Michael always told me I didn't understand old money. My assistant enters with more news. The company's stock just jumped another 15 points since you announced the new restructuring plan. Turns out, removing fraudulent leadership and installing someone who actually understands finance does wonders for the bottom line. Who knew? They're calling you the Phoenix of Wall Street, Isabel notes, reading from another article online. Rising from the ashes of corporate scandal to lead one of the most remarkable turnarounds in recent financial history. I walk to the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out at the empire I helped build and now fully own. In the glass reflection, I see not the trophy wife Michael thought he married, but the woman I always was, brilliant, calculating, and utterly unstoppable. Have you heard from him? Sophia asks quietly. I nod toward a handwritten letter on my desk. It's Michael's final, desperate attempt at what? Reconciliation? Manipulation? It doesn't matter anymore. Dear Eleanor, it begins, I understand now what I lost. Too late, Michael. Too late by exactly 15 years, 3 months, and 27 days. The media is clamoring for an interview, Isabel mentions. Forbes, specifically. They want to do a major piece on powerful women in finance. Tell them yes, I decide. It's time to tell my own story. My phone buzzes one last time. It's a text from Michael's sister. Thank you for saving our family legacy. He never deserved you. I think back to that first Instagram post, the one that set this all in motion. Michael, so proud of his new relationship status, thinking he was writing the beginning of a brand new life. He never realized he was actually writing the final chapter of his old one. The SEC investigation is expanding, Sophia notes. They're looking into his previous business ventures now. Let them, I say. I've already given them everything they need. Every document, every transaction, every lie, all carefully preserved and annotated for their convenience. Isabel raises her glass. To justice served cold? I shake my head, raising my own glass to meet hers. To underestimating the wrong woman. As the sun sets over Manhattan, I open my laptop to review tomorrow's board meeting agenda. The company is thriving, better than ever. In fact, the last rays of sunlight catch on my old wedding ring, the only thing I kept from my marriage. It's not for sentiment, but as a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things in life are the lessons we learn from those who try to destroy us. One last thing, Sophia says, pulling out a final document. Your name change, paperwork is ready. Do you want to go back to your maiden name? I consider this for a moment, looking out at the empire I now control. No, I decide, a slow smile spreading across my face. Let him see my name, his name, on everything he lost. Let him read about every success, every triumph, every achievement he could have shared if he hadn't been so blind. The New York City lights flicker to life as darkness falls. From my penthouse office, the city looks like a constellation of infinite possibilities. Michael saw me as a trophy, something to be displayed and eventually discarded. He never understood that I was always the hunter, never the prize. What's next? Isabel asks, gathering her things to leave. I smile, turning from the window to face my future. Everything, I reply. Everything is next, because the thing about rising from the ashes, you emerge stronger, wiser, and ready to soar. Michael thought he was writing our ending, but he only wrote his own. My story is just beginning, and this time, I'm the one holding the pen. The end of the story.